Today I'm going to share with you my recipe for Eddose Puri or Eddose Roti, and for this recipe I have here 1.5 cups of flour. You're going to need some water to help knead this. I will leave the correct amount of water that I used down below. Some of you may need more, some of you may need less. 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast, and about half a teaspoon of salt. And for the filling, I have here 1 cup of Eddose that I already boiled and mashed up. And for the Eddose, you're going to need some geera. I have half a teaspoon of geera, 1/4 cup of finely chopped onions. You want to make sure it's very finely chopped, because if it's too big, it's going to burst through your dough when you're rolling it out. A teaspoon of minced garlic, finely minced, and 1/2 teaspoon of chopped hot pepper. If you want to add more hot peppers to this, you can, but I'm not making it that spicy. So let's get started on putting this dish together. The first thing we're going to do is knead our flour. So to your flour, add your yeast, your baking powder, and your salt. Mix in your ingredients. Now add enough water to create a medium to soft dough. You don't want it to be too soft, because if it's too soft, it's gonna give you a lot of trouble when you fill it and you're rolling it out. So knead it like sada roti. After you finish kneading your flour, you want to cover it and set it aside. And now we're going to move on to making the filling. So one of the other things I forgot to mention was you're going to need some bandanya, about a tablespoon of chopped bandanya. You want to put up a skillet or a frying pan and add some oil to it, about a teaspoon of oil. In the meantime, you want to add some salt to your Eddose, but salt to taste, and add in your geera and give it a mix. When your oil is nice and hot, add in your chopped onions, garlic, hot pepper, and your bandanya. And you're going to saute this until the onions and the garlic is nice and soft and tender. After your onions are nice and soft, add it to your Eddose. And mix to combine everything thoroughly, and taste it for salt, and if you need more salt, just adjust your salt accordingly. When you finish mixing it, set it aside and put up your tower to heat up on medium-low heat. While your tower is heating up, just set your Eddose aside, cover it, and your dough should be ready. It should rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, because you want it to rest so that it's easy to roll out. Now we're going to make it into our balls or loaves. I'm actually going to make 3 of them, because I think they will be too big to fit on the tower if I make it into 2. You roll them into the loaves or balls. Just set them aside for 5 minutes. Let that gluten relax, and then we'll move on to filling them. Okay, now we're going to fill our dough with that Eddose filling. So open out your dough or lower Just spread a little bit of flour on the inside. And you put how much Eddose you want in the center. It's all up to you. So I would say I'm putting about 1/4 cup. Just bring the tops up to close it. And you're going to do the same for the other two. So I've finished filling mine. You just want to leave it to rest for 5 minutes. And after that, we'll go on until rolling them out and then cooking them. Okay, so now we're going to roll out our dough with our Eddose filling. You want to squeeze from the center outwards because you want to make sure that the Eddose filling goes throughout your roti. So once your tower is nice and hot, just drizzle a little bit of oil on it because you don't want, when you put your roti on the tower, you don't want it to stick. And then put your roti on. And you're going to allow this to cook until both sides are nice and golden brown and your roti is cooked. You want to go ahead and brush this side with some oil. See how it's starting to puff up and swell a little. It wouldn't swell right through because it has some very, very fine holes from the onion. See the nice color it's getting? That's what you want. Okay, so my first Eddose Puri or Eddose Roti is done. I'm just turning it so that the ends cook because you want to make sure that it cooks right through. And I'm going to continue cooking the rest of them until I've made out the 3. So here you have it, my Eddose Roti or Eddose Puri. If you all don't want to use Eddose for this, you can use aloo. Just cook it the same way. It's really delicious and it's really tasty. You can serve it alongside curry chicken, anything you would like. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you all another day with another one of my recipes. Enjoy!